So now the next concept is about the tables in HTML. How do we design the tables? Table is nothing but it's a two-dimensional matrix, we can say, where it will be consisting of rows and the columns. The content of the table will be designed in such a way that it will be displayed in the formation of the rows and the columns in the perfect descriptive manner, such that the information is much more clear to the user and effective. So the tables will contain the information such as it can contain in the form of the textual data, images, forms, hyperlinks, etc. So all this kind of information can be available for the user. It's a two-dimensional matrix in the form of rows and the columns. So that's how the tables are formed in your HTML. What is the tag that is used for it is table is the keyword that we're using here in between the angular brackets. This is the opening of the table tag, closing of the table tag, followed by it has so many other attributes. Okay, table tag has so many other subtags inside it. So to create a table tag, we first of all use the table tag to assign the borders into it, outline of it, number of rows, and how should be the columns, how should be the boundary of the cell should be activated and highlighted into the table. So everything will be set with the help of these attributes inside it. So we will be having something called as width and bordering. How much bordering should be, by what number of width we should be giving the bordering of the table. So everything will be in detailing. You can design the table with respect to cell spacing, cell padding and all. So you can see here cell spacing, that is whatever the number you will be specifying here, that many cell spaces will be given into the particular cell. Suppose there is a cell, okay, if you're giving it as 2, spacing of 2 cells means it will be that much far away from the second cell. And cell padding, whatever the number will be given, so those many number of pixels will be uh, mentioned in the cell bordering of it from the content. Okay, content will be into the middle of the cell spacing. Okay, padding is different and spacing is different. Both of them are very, very important when designing the table structure. Okay, so this is with respect to pixels and this is with respect to cell space between the table cells. So it will be more and more clear to you when we are designing the actual table in the coding, that we will see in the coming slides. Next, so you can see here another attribute of it is BG color, background color of the table. You can give it here. If not, so and so, you can set these many hexadecimal code. If not directly, you can even assign the name of the color. Alignment, how should be the table? Either it should be towards the left hand side centered or right hand side. That alignment can be given. Next, how it should be. Either it should be left hand side, below of it, above of it, vertically, horizontally. How is the bordering? All these are some of the default alignments that are available. So therefore, the browser where to draw the borders around the table, we will be having detailing about how it should be drawn. Basically, table is a construction of rows and the columns. In the rows and the columns, we have so much of detailing about the cell spacing, how should be the cell spaced with respect to the content of the table. Everything is done in detail. So there is another tag which is defining the table row. TR stands for table row and TH stands for table header. Okay, headings, if at all you have some table. Okay, for example, you have listed fruits there. So title of the table is list of fruits. Okay, that list of fruits will be highlighted into some bold letters. So that is your table header, TH. Okay, table data, content of that fruits, apple is there, guava is there, pineapple is there, and so on. So all those contents will be coming into this table data. TD stands for table data. So these are the sub tags of your table tag. All these are important when designing the table. Now coming to the frames, By using the frames, we can divide the and display the screen into multiple scrolling sections. For example, this is my header section, the upper part of the display. This is my footer part of the frame, and this is my body. So with the help of the frames, you can divide the content of the web page into different sections actually. That is the usage and advantage of using the frames in your HTML, and how we will be using it with the name of the tag called as frame set. Okay. And the description is, it will split the browser screen into the frames as and how much it is required for the user. Like you can see here, number of rows you will be dividing the browser into, and this will be dividing into horizontal sections, and number of columns. You can even divide the screen in the vertical forms, left hand side, right hand side, and centered one for the main content, and content will be changing, and the header, footer, and the side sections will remain as it is, and few times that will also change. So these sections we will be dividing into with the help of the frames there. The number of rows and the columns indicate that number of sections we are dividing here. An asterisk can be used to indicate that the remaining space. Okay, so we will give so much of percentage there to divide the screen into frames. You can see here, frame set rows 20%, 30%. Okay, and the rest of this will be whatever the remaining part is there. 20 plus 30 is 50. And the rest of it is will be available for the user for remaining part. You can see here, remaining space is defined with the asterisk. Rows and the columns will be defined as first two numbers. What? These are the rows and the column definition, and followed by the remaining space. So this is about the frames. So far we have covered the basics of your HTML formattings. We have seen how should be the attributes given, what are the values that we can provide in tables, how to create frames, forms, all these things theoretically we have seen. Practically execution of the code we will be seeing in the next few slides. Hope it is clear to you. So the example we were looking here is, this is just an example how to set the frame, okay, by indicating the rows and the columns and the remaining space. So this is a description of this frame. Here we are actually setting the frame size. Name of it is given as text here, which assigns the name of the frame, and resizing. How much space should be adjusted for the rows and the columns, followed by the source URL is given to you, which specifies the location and the initial HTML documentations into it, and coloring and all. Suppose you're partitioning the header part, the footer part, some colors of the bordering to indicate it separately. So you can even give the bordering color over there, and that will also be specified inside the frames only. Here is one of the simplest example. You can see here inside the HTML frame set you have done. For the rows, 50% remaining is the spacing. Columns also 50% remaining is the available space. So for this frame, you are using the source file as your some already existing HTML file, and name of this frame you are making as frame 1. Source of this frame 2 is welcome.html. Okay, so this we are making it as frame 2. Okay, and source of the 3 failure.html. Okay, so all these frames one after the other we want to display it into 3 partitions actually. Okay, so 50% rows and 50% column is subdivided separately for both of them.